In a previous episode of DIY Outdoor Life, we started our series on the road to the rally, a teardrop camping road trip with the destination being the Bushwhacker Gathering in Hot Springs, North Carolina. The first leg of our trip, and the only section that was actually planned, was to get a good jump start by leaving Friday evening. We were in such a hurry that I actually drove off with the power cord connected and our solar light on the fender. Luckily our camera person caught it before I did any real damage, and we were able to start our trip down south. We headed 4 or 5 hours to Pine Grove State Park in Pennsylvania, a beautiful place, the midpoint of the Appalachian Trail, and a great place to wake up Saturday morning with a jump start on our trip. We had over a week before the rally started, but we really wanted to take some time on the road and settle in before making it to Hot Springs. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the camera shaking. We made it to Pine Grove Furnace State Park. That's the northern tip of the Blue Ridge Parkway in Pennsylvania. This was the only planned leg of our trip on our way to Hot Springs, North Carolina. We're gonna do, probably the morning here. There's a couple lakes to go swimming. There's a bathhouse to grab a shower. But we grabbed a non-electric site here. They're very spaced out. The place is really nice. Of course, the modern amenity sites look like every other campground. They're right on top of each other, but not bad. So we're gonna spend a little time here this morning. We did go through like 2 kilowatts between refrigeration and battery powered air conditioning. So we're hoping to catch a little solar charge today on the road, and we're improvising. So we're gonna head for Shenandoah. Maybe we'll make it through the park, maybe we won't, but we're just gonna be looking for either a boondocking site or any place that's open somewhere between here and North Carolina. All right, well, I'm gonna enjoy my morning here and then we'll hit the road. So after checking out all these things that the park had to offer and finishing up with a nice cool swim, we made the decision to hit the road. Now we had a general idea of what we wanted to do, but no set plan. Our idea was to head south for a bit, tie into the Shenandoah National Park, and take a nice scenic drive south on the Skyline Drive. With these record temperatures we were experiencing, it was pretty hot to be outdoors. So we were pretty excited to enjoy some scenic sights within the air-conditioned cab of the truck. Now, little did we know that there was gonna be a problem on the horizon, but we headed south and started on these plans. We were about an hour and a half into our trip when I started to see the death flash of the AC light on the truck. The air went from ice cold to piping hot like a light switch went off. And although we tried not to panic, I had a pretty good idea that this was seriously going to impact our trip. So we found a place to pull over to the side of the road, and I did my best effort to assess the situation and come up with some game plan as to how we were going to move forward. Now, part of the reason why I'm doing this narration from the future and turning this video into a little bit of a travel vlog, I hope you don't mind, was because we didn't have the time to sit down and film some of the clips that I wanted for this part of the trip. When the AC went bad, we pulled over and tried to get a can of refrigerant. Sometimes the compressors go low if they have a small leak, and you can gas them up with that refrigerant and you're right back on the road. This was not the solution in this case. And with a little further investigation, I could see that the clutch on the compressor was hanging up and pretty well worn out. So this was not a time to panic, but I knew that we weren't going to get the parts, or on a Saturday away from home, find a place that we'd be able to get this fixed. We had to come up with some plan to salvage this road trip, or we'd be hooking around, going back home and swapping tow vehicles, and I did not want to do that. So the first thing we did to just try to continue to head south was skip Shenandoah altogether. We were going to get on I-81 and try to make as much progress as we could. With the temperatures climbing up over 100 degrees in the cab of the truck, this might seem like first world problems to some people, but with Ripple pacing back and forth and panting, we were getting into a situation where we really had to do something. We tried frequent stops. We got some ice cream. We found a place to stop and go swimming. We even wet our clothes down, put handkerchiefs with ice cubes around our neck. We took the ice packs out of the cooler and placed them on Ripple's bed. We were hoping to cool her down. She just thought they were toys and we're chewing on them. There was a good chance that we were gonna have to seriously do something if this trip was gonna go on. So we found a place, Ferry Stone State Park in Virginia, decided to pull in there, get electric hookup site, crank that air conditioner up, and try to come up with some sort of plan that was gonna allow us to go on. We had tried the old 485 air conditioner. You know, you roll all four windows down and go 85 miles an hour. It didn't work. Any of the methods that we had tried had bought us about 45 minutes at most, and then we were trying to park the car in the shade and get outside of the car. So we figured a good night's sleep, maybe we'd be able to come up with a better idea. Ferry Stone State Park actually turned into a gem, and I was really happy that we were able to make the most of this stop. We had the AC blaring out of that 30 amp pedestal, didn't have to worry about solar or batteries. We were able to make a nice dinner after dark out of the galley on the camper, and we had a nice lake nearby that we were able to do a lot of swimming. The idea that we came up with was maybe we'd go to bed early, hit the road at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and try to get as far south as we could before the sun got high in the sky. Maybe in Hot Springs, I'd be able to find a mechanic that would be able to fix this issue. But as I was going to bed, a little bit of a light bulb went off. I actually shut the alarm off on my phone because I had a different idea that just might work. We had actually brought enough power station capacity to run the Bushwhackers air conditioner off grid. That was our plan, and I was excited to do some testing in these record heat waves. So I knew I had the capacity to run an AC, but I wasn't gonna stick a window air conditioner out of the Tacoma. So I found a local Walmart, and the idea was, maybe if I went and purchased a portable air conditioner that could vent out the window, I could, maybe tape an outlet through the side of the window, that I'd be able to use those power stations. A little bit of solar up top, I could plug it into the 12-volt system on the car and cycle those power stations to air condition the vehicle that way. So I hardly got any sleep, sitting up thinking of the schematics of my grand plan here. But as it turns out, we had a really nice stay in Ferry Stone. We made the most of that situation, and I was set to wake up in the morning and see if I couldn't devise some real redneck engineering. So I hate to do this to you, but editing and putting together these videos on the road are proven to be pretty difficult. If you're new to the channel, check out our other stuff. These travel vlogs are gonna be pretty rare, but stay tuned because I'm gonna put out the next episode on whether this redneck air conditioner worked. We're gonna be putting this thing together and testing out the results and seeing if we can't salvage our road trip before we make it to Hot Springs, North Carolina. So thanks for sticking with us on this leg of the trip. Hopefully the next time I see you, we'll be riding in a nice air-conditioned car and making our way to the Bushwhacker Rally. All right, see you guys next time.